What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moose Milk Podcast, episode 12. I'm your host, Ryan. We're just waiting for Matt to join us. This week we'll be talking Falcon Winter Soldier, episode 2. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, the Marvel movie delays, and maybe we'll talk something else crazy. Who knows? Matt just requested.
As always, you should follow us on Instagram and over on YouTube. For me, Moose Milk. Links in my profile. Follow Matt at Customs by Matthew. Matt has no video. It's scary.
No video.
No video. All I see is black, baby.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It'll be up in a minute, maybe.
I like it.
As long as you can hear me, that's all that really matters.
I feel like you're being secretive.
There we go.
There it is. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I'm working on my shelves.
I seen your posts. Very interesting.
I'm working on Spider-Man tonight.
Do you do this just regularly? Just switch it up, or like
twice a year?
You have so many new figures.
Yeah, because it's so full, I can't like just go. If I get something new, I can't just be like, oh, drop it in, right? Like it's like literally take everything out. So I kind of like make it worth my time. Like if I have one new figure on for a shelf, like I'll wait until I have like 3 or 4 or something, right?
Sure.
So, but anyway, I have to dust them still, so that's kind of.
Well, I know you're such a neat freak that.
Yeah, but I mean they get pretty dusty in a 6-month period, so.
Do you think you need like another cabinet?
I would love another cabinet, but I don't think Kate would love another cabinet, but I would. So yeah.
I think we're gonna need it soon enough, buddy.
Well, I mean, like I have another cabinet. It's just like she uses it for like nothing really. And like
it seems like it's almost a waste. See, you know what you do?
I'm actually building a shelf in there, so you won't even be able to see it unless I open the door to look at it. But I'm just going to. I don't care.
That's what I was gonna say. You know what you do? You just slowly start moving a couple figures at a time there, and be like, I don't know how Captain America ended up on your nice plates.
Well, those gargoyles figures that are coming, that one that I posted of Goliath, like, man. But they're like saying they have like 16-inch wingspan. I'm like, where the fuck am I gonna put that?
Can you like hang them over top of everybody else?
I'm thinking like up top. Like
yeah.
I know you won't be able to see them, but like at least they would look cool. At least they'll look like gargoyles on the edge and stuff, right? Which might look
cool. You almost need to build like a cathedral tower or something to like perch them on.
That'd be sick.
Just do it, man.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Ask permission later.
But I already paid for it.
It's already here. What am I supposed to do? Not use it?
What a waste.
You're just throwing away money when you say no.
Oh, yeah. So how are you?
What did you think of the episode?
What did I think of the episode?
Yeah.
It was I liked it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really fun. What did you think?
I think it was fine.
Oh, okay.
I find
like this one better.
There's very weird elements to it that I don't like.
Like what?
And I mean, this is weird as like.
My friend Jen just said hi, and I don't know when we're getting Chinese again, but hopefully one day soon.
Sorry. Never a bad day for Chinese.
Never a bad day.
I find it very weird how hard they're pushing this like Black America agenda in the show, and I know that's weird for like a white dude to say, but like I just find it very peculiar that they don't really try to say anything, but yet it seems to be prevalent in every episode. Like I feel like they're afraid to go too hard into it, but like they're making it a part of the show with like the super soldier older black man that was like in the 50s that nobody's ever heard of, but had the super soldier serum, but like he's just there and I guess thrown wayside because they had white Captain America. And I'm like, okay, that's a really interesting thing, but you didn't do anything with it. Like,
it's setting it up, right? I mean, if you think that's the last we're going to get of him, I doubt that very much, right? Because he's a Captain America in the comics too, right?
Right, but my point is, is like, are they setting it up for something? Because like the first episode, we got all the bank stuff with his sister and everything like that, and I'm like, okay, what are you trying to say here? Well, we didn't get any of that in the second episode. Like, nothing with his sister, nothing with that, and that's fine because I think that was the weakest part of the episode. But my point is like, what are you trying to say with putting this all into the show? Like, it didn't seem like there was a point to it. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed to be there just to be there.
I'm 100% opposite of you on this one. I actually think that it's sending a really strong message, because as much as a lot of people say like, oh, leave the politics out of it, I think in particular that scene with Sam and Buck on the road and the cops come up and like I know a lot of people, I did see people say like, oh, you leave your political agenda out of it, but it's like it's like,
I want politics. I think that's completely fine to have politics in the show. Like, the stuff going on in present day, the world, whatever, America mostly, but the worldwide, I'm completely fine if you want to put that in your show, but you're not saying anything by it. There was no, we realize you're a famous man, so we're not going to arrest you.
Yeah, but I don't think you're like, I think that's the point of it. Like, it doesn't need to be anything more than it. It's like, it's just like like that's the way it really is.
Yeah, I guess, but like, it just felt like they didn't go far enough with it, or they should have went like 3 steps further. Like, it didn't, to me, it doesn't feel like they're going anywhere with it, and it's just in the show. But it's consistent,
though. You just said that. Like, it's consistent from the first episode, right? It's gonna go somewhere. It's consistent. Like, I
wanted more of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I actually think I was actually like happy that they used the platform to, because as much as people are like, it's so annoying.
No, it's not annoying.
I'm not saying you, but I saw people make those comments, and I'm just like, yeah, it is annoying. Like, imagine being in those people's shoes and having to live like that every fucking day. Imagine that. Like,
no,
that really happens, right?
Like I said, like, it's a hard topic to talk about as two white men.
Totally.
And I don't want to overstep any like, I don't want to step on anybody's sensitivities with the subject, because obviously it's a hard thing to talk about. Yep. But like, I look at it as if you're going to say something, I'd rather you say it than just allude to saying something, but then move on to the next scene. And I just feel like they're not saying anything. Like, yes, the cops pulling over them and saying, oh, there's a black man in the middle of the street arguing with a white man. We should be arresting this black man. And then, oh, we realize he's famous. Okay, we're not going to arrest him. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but you didn't say anything about it. Like, there needs to be more to it. And I hope they do have like a point to by the end of the series of like why they're including this in the show, because otherwise it just feels like it's just there to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm looking at it. I have a few of my friends that are in the comments that are chirping away, but my friend Elvin says it's a series, give it time, and I agree. Like, I think
I hope so.
You're seeing it, like, we're 2 episodes in now, and we've seen it. We've already seen it in both these episodes. Like, I do feel that that's going to continue to be an underlying theme throughout all of this, and I do think that that's a good thing, even if it's I think it's a good thing, and I think that they can utilize it to their. Because, I mean, like, even when you think about, like, if you think it's like that now, wait until the mutant stuff starts showing up. I feel like they're going to use the mutant thing to push that in a humongous way.
And I think they should, because, I mean, when the mutants were originally, like, the X-Men series originally started, it was a lot more about gay America or gay public not fitting in, and it was alluded to that.
And ethnicities, too. Ethnicities were a big thing. That's why the giant-size X-Men were from everywhere in the world.
Right, and sure, ethnicities too. But I'm saying now that, I mean, I guess I can't say this either, but like, really, like, it's a lot more able to be coming out being gay than it ever has been. Like,
yeah, I agree.
And I think now they can evolve it in a way of being more about the racism behind it, or like the ethnicity side of mutants more than the gay side of it. And I mean, both should be included, because I believe everybody should have equal rights. And like, I shouldn't even have to say that, but like, today you do have to say that, because it's like the stuff going on in the States is crazy. And,
it is.
So.
It sure is.
But that side of the show, like, I feel like it's included just to be included, and I don't feel like it's gone far enough. But, like, yeah, I hope by episode 5 or episode 6 they actually have some kind of, like, real statement from it. But outside of that, like, I like the episode. I just feel like we still don't really know what the point of the show is. Like, what the villain really is trying to achieve. Like, we see the Flag Smashers, like, stealing medicine or something from this truck. And I'm like, but what are they trying to do with this medicine? Like, it's not really...
Yeah, but again, it's a show. They have it's long series, right? They have 6 hours to tell the story. Like, if they're just like, these are the bad guys, this is what the plan is, we're going to spend the next 4 movies letting you see it. Like,
no, I realize that,
right?
but I'm saying, like, we still don't really know what the point of the episode. Like, are they trying to take over Captain? Like, is this Captain America bad? Is he good? We don't really know.
Yeah, but we're ahead of where we were last week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we get a little bit every week or whatever, then, like, we eventually get kind of a full picture, right? Like, last week we knew that there was the Flag Smashers, but we didn't really have, like, a face to the Flag Smashers. Now this time we meet Carly Morgenthau or whatever, who in the comics is Carl, which is a guy, so they gender swapped it to a girl. Who is, my friend mentioned, is Empress Nest from the Solo movie, which I was like, oh fuck, how do you not recognize her? Like, she's very recognizable.
Yeah, I did see that online that they swapped it, gender swapped.
Yeah. So, like, you know, now we know that, like, she's kind of like a big player, and that, like, they're kind of making their way through Europe, and, like, you know, we know that they're super soldiers or some kind of enhanced abilities. Like, you know, if you think about it, like, that's a good amount of progress on the villain for one episode, I think. Like,
but I really don't feel like we're supposed to root for Captain America, but, like, I feel like at the beginning of the episode they were kind of trying to make you root for Captain America, and it's I don't know, like, I don't know where we're supposed to stand and where the show wants us to stand, and, like, you know what I mean?
Isn't
like,
that kind of cool though? Like, I mean, like, again, we don't
it
want
put me
it
in
to
a
be
weird spot because, like, from episode 1 I couldn't stand him. As soon as they introduced him, I was like, I hate this dude.
As soon as I saw that face, I was like, who was it? I think maybe it was Stephen Colbert. No, it wasn't Stephen. Anyway, it doesn't matter. One of the late night guys made a joke about how he looks like the guy from Up. Like the old man.
It's true. It's spot on. His nose is bizarre when it's in the mask. Like, when he's without the mask, it looks normal to me. Like, he looks like a dude. But then when he puts on the mask, it, like, squishes down his nose. Yeah, it's very bizarre. But yeah, I really don't like him, and I really want him to go away. And I totally get where Sam's coming from, where he's kind of like even Bucky, like, just like, I don't really like this dude, and I don't really know, I can't put a finger on why, but he seems like a cocky kind of jerk. And as soon as he pulled out the gun when they were fighting on top of the truck, I'm like, oh, this guy's not willing to kill people, like, just blow people in the head. Like, he doesn't have the same I don't know, he doesn't have the same morals as Steve Rogers did, clearly.
No, it's totally different. Yeah. Even, like, how he, like, it's funny because, like, me and my friend Sean had this conversation before I kind of came on here. We were just saying, and he's like, we were talking about how much we dislike John Walker, and it's just like, he's like, I know that he's supposed to be disliked, but, like, man, it's so easy to fucking hate this guy. Like, and I'm like,
he just has a really punchable face.
Elvin EK says, can we get a rip for Red Ring?
It's true. But, like,
that's great.
That
was such a funny part too.
I love the banter. Like, the banter between Bucky and Sam is awesome. And, like, I want more of that. Like, I want this to be like a buddy cop movie almost, where, like, they hate each other, but they like each other, and they have to work together. Like, it's perfect. It's spot on. The whole meeting with their therapist there, like, the dialogue was perfect. I loved it.
Oh, it's so good. So good. Yeah.
And, like, even when they're trying to infiltrate the base there at the beginning, and they're like, Bucky wants to kind of just go, like, full on punch people in the face, and Sam's like, no, let's sneak and whatever, and, like, kind of the banter back and forth between them is, like, it's perfect.
I like when he calls him White Panther. That was funny. And I like when he's like sitting there and all of a sudden Falcon just shows up right next to him and he's like,
"Hi." Yeah, it's White Wolf actually.
It's so funny. That was really good. I don't know. I thought the whole episode was good. I thought it was funny. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it moved the plot forward. I like how Sam and Buck are like supposed to be partners, and then you look at Cap and his sidekick. I can't remember his name right now. It's escaping me, but whatever his name is. Yeah, but I mean, whatever. Yeah, and like they seem like so in sync. It's just like they are like they'll finish each other's sentences. You know what I mean? It's like they're so on it, and then you get Bucky and Sam, and it's like Bucky's like this fucked up weird dude who like just
he's staring off in the distance.
Like,
doing the steering
again. Just ignore him. He's fucking whatever. Battlestar.
It's spot on, and like, I can't remember the Captain America's sidekick there's name.
Battlestar.
Okay. I'm not familiar. Like, is he part of the comics? Like, is this? Like,
so he was like a Bucky for a while.
Okay,
but yeah.
Where do you think they're going with Zemo now? Do you think Zemo's going to be part of like the third wheel of this like tag team kind of thing, or do you think like he's a villain? Or
I don't know. I'm not really sure how much he'll factor into this. I mean, he obviously will to a decent amount, but. Because I
think it would be very interesting to see them kind of like break him out of prison and like almost tag team with him about like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what you kind of started, and like now it's everywhere. We got to stop it. Like maybe I don't know. Like maybe he has ulterior motives, but like them kind of like teaming up for a bit. I think it would be a very interesting trio of personalities.
It's funny too because he can be kind of quirky for like a villain too, right? So like it should be funny to see that balance between the three of them for sure.
Sure.
I don't know. I wonder if he's gonna kind of play like a Loki style like anti-hero kind of thing, right? Maybe
that's what I mean. Like that you don't know their motives for sure, but you kind of like him because he's charming, but he's also kind of villainous. I like that aspect, and I think that's what makes Loki so appealing is you never really know what he's trying to achieve or what he's trying to do, but he's just got that personality.
He's just always seems like he's up to something though, right? And it's just he's can't be trusted. Always scheming.
But I did like that. Like I'm curious of where it will go, and I liked ending on that scene where you just kind of see his face and everything. I was like, I'm definitely makes me interested to see the third episode.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited for the next episode. I think it's I think it's fun. I love the like I do have a few like negative things to say about like some of the CGI on the truck top, especially when I watch it tonight. I notice it like I know the truck's moving and it's supposed to be going fast, so it's not, but I just found that like how fake the like moving elements around them looked like kind of threw me off the second time.
I'm on the same page with you, but I mean, this is going to be a total sidebar, but after watching Zack Snyder's Justice League, I can tell you I've never seen worse CGI in my life. So,
oh, buddy,
this show makes that movie look like worse than it actually is. Like the CGI in Falcon is astronomically better than Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I mean, this is a total, like, we can go on a whole spiel here about it. But
we'll save Justice League because I haven't seen it, and we can let's stay on track for now, and then we'll go back to it.
I'm just going to say I do not see the appeal. I do not see all this uprising on Twitter about, like, oh, we need Zack Snyder's universe to keep going. Like, make Justice League 2. I'm like, please don't. Please stop. Like,
but again, I mean, it's not for us. Like it's not. It's
obvious. My favorite superhero.
Okay, well, I guess that's true. But obviously, like it hits home for a lot of people, right? And it's like,
I mean, it may, but
it's funny because, like, for me, I'm not a DC guy, so like I ultimately the main reason I wanted this to bomb is because I wanted to listen to James and Meso from the Weekly Planet, the podcast I listen to every week, make fun of it, because I love when they make fun of Justice League. It's so funny. So I was really looking forward to more jokes about it. And while they did have some, they mostly, like for the most part, quite liked it. And it's just, so I had to get my hate from Astonishing News and Reviews podcast about it, because Elvin hated on it in a really big way, and it's good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it this way: is an hour and a half of that movie minimum could have been cut, and you would have not lost anything.
Yes.
It's way too long.
I heard that,
way
yeah.
too long. 4 hours is, listen. Endgame was 3 hours long, and it breezes by, and there's no issue with it. It feels like 25
it plays
minutes.
well. Yeah.
4 hours of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I looked at my phone.
Felt like 6, right?
I looked at my phone literally probably 47 times during this movie. Like, I broke it into 3 segments because I don't have 4 hours to just sit straight through a movie. It's not tolerable. It's so boring. The first 2 hours of that movie could have been almost cut down to 20 minutes. Like, it's brutal.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I've heard that.
I really just feel that if they're going to continue on, they need to reboot it. They need to start over. And I like Henry Cavill's Superman. I think he makes a great Superman.
Yep,
I'm not huge on Ben Affleck as Batman, but I mean, if you want to keep him as Batman, feel free. But I think
the thing is, he doesn't want to be Batman anymore.
No, I know he doesn't. And I think with Robert Pattinson, like, becoming Batman now, I'm like, yeah, that's your new starting point. Start over.
Yeah, I agree.
Overall, I just think like a lot like the Flash. I'm not huge on Ezra Miller's Flash or whatever.
The guy drives me nuts.
I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think he does a great Flash. I think the actor from the show has done a way better Flash. I
agree with you. I haven't really watched a lot of it, but from what I've seen, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, like overall, I would just say like just start recasting and start redoing things. And the first Wonder Woman movie's great, and if you want to keep that and move forward, all right.
Well, they
great.
can always do a multiverse thing, right? Like instead of getting rid of it, they could just start over in a new multiverse or something and pull elements from things that work.
If they were smart, they would do a Flash movie right now and have him
change things up. Yeah,
Flashpoint and totally go into a new universe, and everything's different and everything's recasted, and that universe exists. And if you want to live in it, feel free. But we're going to a new Earth 5, whatever, and here it is, you know.
And then all of a sudden, Quicksilver shows up, and his name's Ralph Boner.
And that's what we can hope for. That's a great Ralph Boner. Except it's Bruce Boner.
Or whatever.
Yes.
That's too funny.
What did you think about the movie delays?
I'm happy they're going to Disney Plus, because, I mean, realistically, that's how I'm going to be watching them, so... You know,
I'm hoping by July, I knock on wood, that I'm vaccinated.
Well, hopefully by July they'll push for you guys to get vaccinated, because you're a frontline worker. Like for us out here, we get priority because we're frontline. I don't, because I'm office, but like my employees will. I don't know. The rumor is that they want phase 2 of our vaccinations to start in June for frontline workers. So I'm hoping that in June I get vaccinated, knock on wood. But so they pushed Black Widow to July 7th, which means if I'm vaccinated by then sure, maybe I can go to a theater or whatever. If not, yeah, I'll definitely watch it on Disney Plus. Yeah. My big question is now we have a 2-month gap between the end of Falcon and Black Widow. Do they move up one of the shows if they're ready, or do we just sit for 2 months and not have anything? Probably depends on how much Loki is affected by it. Because I feel like the reason why Winter Soldier and Falcon had to come before Black Widow is now I feel like there's going to be some sort of revelation about super soldier serums or something, and that's why Red Guardian is like, you know, what he is in Black Widow, if he's like superhuman or anything like that, right? Like I feel Black Widow is like in the 90s. I understand that, but what I'm saying is they just introduced Isaiah Bradley as this like undercover, you know, super soldier, right? How could all of a sudden this just happen, right? And it's like, So, and now that we found out that they've like experimented on him and took his blood, it like makes you wonder what else could potentially be out there now that there's like all these revelations, right? So like, maybe some of these guys are like, experiments gone wrong kind of thing, or experiments gone right and, gone missing or gone rogue or something, right? Like I wonder if there's some kind of tie in between this and Black Widow, and maybe that's why they've been so adamant about Black Widow coming out like kind of after this, right?
Yeah. I really wish they'd move up Loki to be like the May show
that'd be nice.
Kind of leads into whatever, Black Widow or whatever. I think it's only 6 episodes as well, so we still have a little bit of gap. But I'm really just kind of bummed that Black Widow got pushed. Like, I think if you're going to do the Disney Plus thing anyway, then they could have just released it in May and it would have been fine. I understand theater, money is probably what they're aiming for, but you've already delayed it a year. Like, I don't know. Just, at this point, to me, it's like, just put it out, man. Like, if you're going to put it on Disney Plus, put it on Disney Plus. But, I mean, now we have Black Widow in July, and then we've got Shang-Chi moved to September, and I assume that means, I don't know, they didn't announce it, but I assume that means the Eternals is going to get pushed.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I think that, I don't know if this is true or not, but I thought I heard that there was a reason why it had to get a theatrical release is because it has something to do with Scarlett Johansson's contract or something like that, where like,
that's probably true. I mean, she probably gets a percentage of the box office revenue.
Yeah, maybe. So,
and it's probably part of her contract, so it's probably obligated that it comes out in theaters, and I wouldn't be surprised by that. But
yeah, because she's a pretty big star, right? So I mean, that would I wouldn't say that for maybe everybody, but she's probably one of the bigger names in the MCU, right? And it's her last movie, so I'm sure she's getting a pretty fucking penny. So
yeah.
No, maybe they can't do mass release for May because not everything would be ready, right? So like, maybe that's kind of, they're left with that option, right? So looking at
I get
circumstances where they're at now.
I just think maybe move up another show then, if Loki's done filming, move up Loki.
If Loki's done and it doesn't, the only thing I can see with that is then like you get criticism, right? So I gave you an example. We hit January, WandaVision, yes. We hit March, Falcon Winter Soldier, yes. We hit May, Loki, yes. No more Marvel TV till next year.
Oh, we still have 3 more shows though.
I know. Like there's a bigger gap now, right? So it's like you give everybody all this stuff month after month after month, and then all of a sudden
they have What If. They have What If coming out in the summer. I assume that's.
But I mean, look at like, are you going to get into What If? You don't do.
No,
cartoons.
It's not for me.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'll watch it for this podcast. But like, I'm not interested in watching it. But like, they still have Miss Marvel coming out. They still have She-Hulk coming out. I think that's supposed to be this year.
Is it? Okay.
I'm not positive. It might be
I can't keep track anymore, to be honest.
And they have Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So they still have like 2 or 3 shows after Loki that they can. That's this year. Plus, they have the Star Wars shit that's coming out.
What are we getting for Star Wars this year?
I don't want to say because I honestly don't remember. Oh, yeah. I want to say maybe Bad Batch.
Oh, Bad Batch for sure. It's May 4th.
Yeah. I think that's. There could be. I assume that we'll get season 3.
I should have just asked Elvin. Elvin is on his shit. Elvin says Bad Batch. Is that it, Elvin? He's gonna know.
I assume we get season 3 of fucking thing.
Mando, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Are we supposed to get Boba at the end of the year? I thought they said Book of Boba Fett at the end of the year too, right? Or no?
Right. So maybe that instead of season 3 of Mando. I don't know.
Boba at the end of the year. I mean,
they could put these shows out one after another, and it's not going to matter. Like, go back to back, go Marvel.
There's always going to be small little gaps, right? Like, it's never going to be never-ending content. So
right. I mean, we have the new Mighty Ducks show on Disney Plus right now. So
quack, quack, quack.
Nostalgia's strong, but I still can't bring myself to watch it. Mando push till next year.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll get Boba at least. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they have enough content that we don't have to worry about it.
Me too.
They have so many subscribers now that they're making a fucking fortune off of this. So
didn't they hit their 4-year goal mark? Like just recently? Like that's crazy, man.
They have infinite money, and they don't have to worry. So
yeah,
you know, I look at it as like it's the same as Microsoft or like any of these major corporations where I'm like, they can literally do whatever they want and it's not going to matter because they don't have to be concerned about money. Money's not a thing to them. They can put out thing after thing after thing, and some are going to be failures and some are going to be hits, but it doesn't really matter because they have infinite money. So,
I heard what did I hear? I heard that last week's episode was Disney Plus's strongest performing opening night or opening day performance of all the shows they've done so far. That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, and that's awesome. And like they said that about, I think, WandaVision. WandaVision beat Mando.
Yeah.
And now Falcon's beating WandaVision. So like, I mean, they're only increasing it. Obviously, the more subscribers you have, the easier it is to increase viewership on your show. So
yeah,
I think a lot of people were probably waiting until these Marvel shows started up till they had actual things to watch, on Disney Plus, instead of like, hey, if you want to go back and watch Cinderella from 1935, here it is. But they were waiting for something new, and I think the first year of Disney Plus was kind of barren.
Yeah, outside it was all barren. There wasn't really anything.
No, I mean, if you have kids at home, there's
tons of things. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
We're just two, adults that don't have children, so for us, it's not really like, hey,
not the same. Yeah,
we're not going to go back and watch Pixar movies or old Disney movies or whatever. Like, I think if you have a kid at home that's at the right age, then Disney Plus is a great price. But now that there's new content and content that's of all ages, really, I'm in.
Yeah.
I need a reboot of Rescue Rangers. Yeah, I'll take a reboot of Rescue Rangers.
In a hot minute. They're doing a reboot of Rescue Rangers. John Mulaney and somebody else. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That was fucking hilarious, I'm sure.
Bring back Inspector Gadget. Bring back all those old shows. Like, I'm in. Yeah.
It's from Deke. That's who made that one. Deke.
Yeah, I remember that because I always thought it sounded like Dick.
Deke.
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget would be sick, though, for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like, I know they brought it back a few different times.
Yeah, it'd be cool, like you said, to do like a rated R, like a harder, like an N17, is that what they call it, or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you have to go that hard, but I would love a dope Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot, and you can make an animated series that's more for children or young adults or whatever, but I just think, like, it's a series that, or even bring back the original animated series and put it on Disney Plus. I would rewatch that show in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would love to see. If I could find a good quality version, I would rewatch them. So
same. I remember when they put out, like, they had the turtle bus or whatever the hell it's called, with all the DVDs,
the party van.
Yeah. Can you stop? They made that like a DVD like collection or whatever, and I was gonna buy it, and I never did. But I would watch.
It was expensive, but I wish I would have now in retrospect.
Yeah, and apparently it wasn't in very good quality. Like the DVDs were like out of order and shit like that. Like, I don't know, there's a bunch of shit, but yes, I did see that. There's a new.
I was just gonna wait for you to finish and say that. That looks so sick. Oh my god.
Shredder's Revenge, I think it was called.
Looks great.
It looks totally like the NES arcade games.
It reminds me of Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, like the old arcade that I used to fucking obsessed with, man. Oh my god.
The NES arcade games, or I mean the actual arcade game, but like even on the SNES, like
Turtles in Time. Yep, so fun.
Fucking awesome. The art style's dope, like totally.
Have you seen those NECA action figures, the pixelated Ninja Turtles?
No, I haven't.
I'll have to send you some pictures. They're sick, man. I don't have them because I just don't have the room, but they're painted they're painted pixelated. So like to your eye, it kind of looks like pixelated when it's like on yourself. It's pretty dope.
How expensive are they?
They're reasonable. Yeah, they're probably about $40 Canadian, and probably have to pay shipping on top of that too. But I mean, if you were buying a couple of them, you wouldn't be too
I would
far
just
off.
love like a really dope Shredder.
Oh, Shredder just got released, like a video game one, a pixelated one.
I would love that. I would love a really good Donatello because I was always Donatello. So
Me too. Donnie's my man.
This is why we're the best friends.
It's funny though, because I got bummed. I was actually on, I think there's like a NECA Facebook group I'm on or whatever, and there was like a poll, and it was, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? And Donatello was fucking last. I was like, fuck you people, Donatello's the best.
Always last. Like,
what's your rank? I wonder how close we are. I feel like we're probably pretty close.
Donatello, Mikey, Raph, Leonardo.
Oh, we're switched. I'm Raph, Mikey, Leonardo.
Well, it depends what iteration. Because, like, in the cartoon, Raph was just a dickhead.
Yeah.
There was never a good Raph moment in the cartoon. Like, he was always just the jerk face that, like...
Yeah, but I kind of like that about him. He's like that in the movie, too. He's the fucking, like, unreasonable, like, dickhead that you can't fucking give anything to.
But I agree with him in the movie.
Yeah, I know, but he's...
In the movie, when he's like,
he's
hey,
the
we
same
should go
kind of person,
right now. I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. Let's go. And then in the cartoon, he's just a dick to be a dick. You know what I mean?
He's got attitude.
Yeah, well, naturally. I mean, I don't know. As a kid, I always liked Mikey because he was just like, loved pizza. I love pizza. It just fits. You know what I mean? But
I get it. I like Mikey too. Mikey's good because he's lighthearted and fun.
Yeah, but Donatello always had like the, I don't know, I thought the bow staff was just like dope.
He
like,
does machines. He does them.
And like, I thought that was great. I'm like, oh, they're making people that are smart and like working on things cool. Like, I like to be smart. So, I mean, that failed miserably because I work in retail now, but hey.
I used to do machines, but I don't actually do machines. But I thought I did, but I don't.
I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, in the games, I always liked playing as Donatello, too, because the staff was the longest weapon.
Longer, yeah.
Yeah, so you could hit people from further away, and where Raph and Mikey,
yeah,
they had
just
no
spin his
range
side,
at all.
You have to get right up, and it's like...
Yeah, it sucked. He dies so quickly.
But I do.
Leonardo was good in the games, too.
Leonardo suffers from the Cyclops syndrome for me. It's like,
yeah,
I love Cyclops' costume is probably, like his 90s look, is probably like my favorite, or in my top 5 favorite comic book costumes of all time ever. I love it. But he is like such a typical, like, stick up the ass leader. Like,
that's why I always ranked him last. Is because like,
I find Leonardo's a lot, like, not exactly, but I find he has a lot of those really similar traits, which I guess is why he's the leader. But it's just, it's boring to me. It doesn't really do anything for me.
I agree, totally. I mean, honestly, if I was to really rank them, Casey Jones would be number 1.
Oh, yeah, Casey's awesome. So
because he always had hockey sticks, and I was obsessed with hockey.
I like his mask.
Yeah, and his mask is dope. But just the fact that he beat people with hockey sticks, I'm like, this is my dude. I totally relate. I would love to beat people with hockey sticks.
I watched, or I didn't really watch it that close. It was on in the background. The original Ninja Turtles movie the other night, and Secret of the Ooze the next day.
So good, dude.
So good. Hey, quickly to go back to Winter Soldier Falcon, or whatever the fuck it's called.
No.
Going back to that Bradley Isaiah guy, that Black Super Soldier guy. I hope that we get some kind of a flashback from him, like from when he was in his prime. I mean, how sick would it be to actually see him beat Winter Soldier, like back in the day? That'd be so fucking awesome.
And who I'm going to say would be dope in that role, and I know they can't do it because he's already been in the MCU, but Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Like, I know they won't do it because he was already the villain in Black Panther, but I just watched both Creed movies, like, last week.
Creed movies are awesome.
Michael B. Jordan's such a good actor. Like, to see him as a badass, like, super soldier, I'm so in.
Yeah, I feel like if it's just like a flashback, they'll just do a de-age on the guy who actually played him, who played him in this episode, just so that way it kind of ties and it makes sense, right? But But yeah, I'd
But
love to see
yeah.
something. How dope would that be? Fuck, man, that'd be so sick.
But see, I also like the fact that like both Marvel shows has been kind of side characters that really didn't get their like due in the main,
because we're getting their story now, right? We're getting to know
I
them
hope
as
they continue that on of like, hey, we've introduced even more side characters now, and like now they're gonna get their own scenes. And like, yeah, it'd be great to get like this dude's backstory in a show and like see him in like the 1940s or 1950s, like period piece style, really like cool, well done, like, you know, 5-6 episode series. Like I'd be totally for that.
Me too. Yeah, same here. I hope that the action continues. Like I hope we get an action piece every episode. Because like honestly, I find that they really. I don't find it's as good when they load it at the front. Like the first episode, like really the action was at the beginning and then that was kind of it. And like, I mean, there was a bit here and there, right? But yeah, I hope, like, I liked how it was kind of more in the middle of this one. So it's like you get to the middle and then the rest of the episode is them trying to figure out what the fuck just happened.
I mean, I'm sure budget was probably an issue. They probably had a set budget that they had to commit to, but I look at it too as like, to me, it's great if you could have a little bit of character development, an action scene, more character development, an action scene, and then like an end piece kind of thing, and kind of break it up in that way where you get like 2 action set pieces an episode. And so, yeah, like if they can keep doing that and have like a cool, really cool scene and then kind of break it up with character development, story development, villain development, whatever, I'm totally in.
I hope that we get something like that too. I wonder when Agent Carter is going to show up.
I'm guessing next episode.
Yeah,
I think she's going to be a big part of the show for the rest of the series. Like,
I hope so.
I love her character in
Civil War,
both Captain America movies. Like, I really want her to be part of the show moving forward. So to see her kind of maybe take on like kind of the Black Widow mantle of like super soldier, spy, badass. I'm so in. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to give that to that new girl. I can't remember her name in the Black Widow movie. The blonde girl. Because she's in Hawkeye too, apparently. Yelena. That's the character she's playing. I can't remember the actress who's playing her, but...
Gotcha.
I think she's going to be the new Black Widow because in the comics she is. But I wouldn't be surprised if Sharon Carter stuck around and kind of popped her head into kind of these kind of series, and maybe if anyone ever needed a hand anywhere else that would be relevant, right? But
no, I think that'd be dope.
Like we've said a few times on these things, like that's the cool thing about them opening up this world so much, right? It's like, you know, everyone doesn't need a story right now. Like we'll get to them eventually, right? Or they won't, right? But I mean, it's like that's the cool thing is everything's like on the table. Like
everybody has a story, and it's just a matter of time before we reveal their stories and their backstories. And I like that aspect of it because it makes everybody feel important to every episode. It makes everybody feel included. And like, I'm sure that even if you watch the making of WandaVision, when they were interviewing, what's the actor that plays Vision's name?
Paul Bettany.
When they were interviewing Paul Bettany about like his original like role in Iron Man 1 of just being the computer automated voice. And he was just like, I had no idea that this was going to evolve into
this.
You know, me being a full-on character, me being a main star in a TV show, so on and so forth. Like, it just kind of evolved that way. And it's like, I love that aspect. Is like, you could get the most minor character involved, and then eventually they become this main star, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool that this is what we're getting, and we're getting focused and getting more history and getting to spend more time with a lot of these characters on a way deeper level than we ever could get in a movie, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't mind the long form narrative. Like, that's why I don't mind the, like, you know, it's like, it's paced, right? Like, it's, you know, because the thing is like, if you give us like this crazy, insane episode and then the next week is just like a big setup episode, like we kind of got that a couple times in WandaVision, right? Where it was like, whoa, that was an insane episode. And the next episode, they're like, all right, let's talk about what we just did last week, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's like, I feel like that's inevitable in this, like, this narrative. I feel like it is.
I think 6-episode seasons are absolutely perfect. I think that's where most shows should be.
Yeah. Because you don't need like 2 or 3 episodes of like filler. Like, I feel like a lot of the times you could get those points across quicker, a lot quicker, but they just kind of spread it out, right? So,
yeah, I think like maximum 10 episodes, but I think 6 episodes is like a real sweet spot where you can tell a story and then move on, kind of thing. And like, we don't need 10 seasons of a television show to get a story across. Is you can make a 3 or 4 season arc, and that works perfectly. I think Breaking Bad is the best version of that, where, you know, it was one of the top shows on the planet in its time, you know, in the last season at least, not when it started, but it ended in season 5 at the perfect point. There was no filler. There was no, hey, we're going to drag this out for 6 more seasons just to get, you know, more ratings or whatever like that. And that's kind of like the Walking Dead problem. Is like, I was a huge Walking Dead fan at the start, but it's now dragged itself out to 10 seasons, and I gave up in like season 7, where like the show needed to end 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, it's just doing the same thing over and over again, right?
Yeah. It's like,
I think that's like a lot of Marvel things. So like Helvin says, "Are you crazy? Give me 20 episodes." But like I always go back to those Netflix shows, like even Daredevil, even season 1 and 2 of Daredevil, which I fucking loved. There was, you could cut 4 of those episodes out and it would have still been fucking amazing, like easily. And even WandaVision, you could have taken 2 episodes out of WandaVision and it would have still played the same way.
My honest opinion is less is more always. I say this with sports. I say this with TV shows. I say this with
the European way. It's the European way. It's
totally. Like, and I don't know how many people in here are actual sport fans, but like, to me, I was a huge hockey fan. And I gave up on hockey. Why? Because I feel like 82 games is way too many games a season. And if you brought that down to like an NFL level where there's like 25, 30, 40 games a season, where NFL plays
way more compelling, like
each game means that much more. Each episode means that much more. And there's no filler. There's no, hey, we're going to lay back and not play this game because we don't give a fuck because there's 82 more games to fucking catch up. And that's how I feel about TV, is like all these old series. You go back and watch The X-Files or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or any of these a little bit older shows where they had to do 24 episodes a season. And there is 10 episodes of filler and 12 episodes that is just like, okay, here's the actual story we're trying to tell. And that's the most compelling part, is those are the episodes you care about, and the filler episodes.
The other ones are throwaway.
Some of them are fine. They're entertaining at times, but they usually are just complete throwaway. So you give me sweet, solid 6 episodes or 8 episodes or 10 episodes that each episode is not filler and is trying to tell a story, I'm going to be way more compelled by that.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it makes for better television when you can, kind of pinpoint exactly where you're trying to go. Like,
100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. 6 is a good number for me too. I like 6. If they stick with 6, I would be more than okay with 6. I think like 4 is too little. You know,
the only issue with that short of episodes is then the wait between the seasons.
Yes.
Is it ends on a cliffhanger and then you wait a year for 6 more episodes. And if you want to do a 6-episode season, that's great. Do a 6-episode season, but you have to have the next season kind of prepared where there's not a year wait and there's like a 6-month wait or an 8-year wait to the next season.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say though, right? Because with the amount of content they're trying to put out all at once, right? It's like I said probably about a month ago back or whatever, but it's like, you know, we have this like pretty hefty release schedule of stuff that's happening. Well, what happens when Eternals goes fucking massive and now we need Eternals 2? And what happens when Shang-Chi blows the fuck up and then we need Shang-Chi 2? Where are you going to put that in these years that already have 4 movies and 6 Disney Plus shows? Like,
well, I look at it like this though, is my assumption is they have a plan in place for the next decade of Marvel movies, and they know that, okay, Shang-Chi's coming out September whatever this year. They have a set date for 2024, Shang-Chi 2 set, and as long as this movie makes its money back and it seems successful, that's the date we're aiming to hit, and that may shift and move, and that may get pushed 6 months or whatever. But my assumption is they're smart enough where they have a set idea of where they want to go, and
I'm sure
that's why it's been successful. Is I guarantee that they have already said, okay, X-Men's going to be introduced in 2025, and we're going to hit that, and then we're going to do this story arc, and that's going to push into Avengers 5, where, you know, Wolverine's the main character, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I think they have that laid out pretty well, that, I don't see them saying like, oh, this caught us by surprise, that it's this successful, we don't have a plan.
Yeah, I guess they're at this point, they probably know, right? Like,
yeah, I think regardless of the quality, Eternals is going to make money, and like, maybe that movie isn't great, I don't know, maybe it's amazing, but I have no like way of knowing, because I know nothing about the Eternals. But
there's somebody who just came in whose name is Mr. Hot Boner.
I mean, how can you not love Mr. Hot Boner?
I like that.
But yeah, this is what I just look at it as, like, my assumption is they have all these actors under contract for at least 3 or 4 more movies, regardless. And if Eternals is successful and it hits the goals that Disney wants to hit, Eternals 2 will be out 4, 5, 3, whatever years later.
Yeah. I'm sure they have a game plan. I don't really, like I said, I really trust where they take things, because I feel like they have their system down, right? So it's, you know, I feel like it's in good hands. I wouldn't feel that way if we were getting like Snyder cut stuff, but
no,
we've got a good track record with the Marvel stuff, right?
You watched the James Gunn Suicide Squad trailer?
I did, yes. Yeah.
And did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, it looks fine or whatever. I don't know. Like,
see, I really like it.
Yeah, I'll say the things I like about it were extremely James Gunn-ish. So it's
very James Gunn.
I feel like the reason why there's anything of it that appeals to me is exclusively his doing. So
1,000%. The trailer very much reminded me of the original Guardians trailer.
Me too. Big time.
Kind of introducing each character, each having a moment during the trailer. Comedy infused in each character, so you know where it's kind of coming from.
Like soundtrack centric.
Yeah. The sound, definitely. Like, it definitely felt like a James Gunn trailer. I
agree.
Just watching it, I'm like, wow, like, just the difference in seeing this versus David Ayer's Suicide Squad trailer, like, night and day. Like,
this is only the second one, right? Because the other Harley Quinn one was Birds of Prey, I think, right?
Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not good? No. I heard, what did I hear? I heard not good. I heard mixed things, I think.
I wouldn't watch it again, but
okay.
I still think Margot Robbie's the best part of those movies. Like,
yeah, I like Margot Robbie.
The first Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, like, Margot Robbie's the best part of those, but I mean, again, like, even in James Gunn's Suicide Squad, I thought Margot Robbie was a standout in the trailer. Even, like, I think she's just a very likable, really, like, solid actress. And I mean, honestly,
John Cena looks pretty funny too. I think John Cena looks pretty funny.
John Cena looked great in it. Like,
yeah,
I just really liked the absurdity of the trailer, and I thought it was really well done. I'm like, yeah, there's a human, whatever, alligator, crocodile, and you know, walking around. It just reminded me of Rocket.
Yeah, totally. It's a shark, I think, right? Isn't it king shark?
Shark. Sorry, I totally can't remember, but yes.
Yeah. And then, I don't know. It looks okay, I guess. I probably won't see it because, like, I just don't.
I'll see it. I mean, I see all these movies, but is it good? I don't know. Who knows? Where's it going to go? Is this the end of James
maybe I'll see that one because it's James Gunn, because I do like his stuff, right? So,
I mean, he's going to move on to Guardians 3, and then does he come back and do another Suicide Squad movie? Like, who knows? But
yeah,
I think you keep picking quality directors and you're only going to get quality movies. I think that's a huge part of it, especially if the studio doesn't push its agenda on you.
Yeah.
So,
when they're given the reign to kind of do their own thing, it's when you get the best results, right?
Totally.
See Justice League, for example.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I just, you know, I got into this argument with my friend Chris, and it was just like, he's like, oh, it's way better than the original Joss Whedon Suicide Squad. I'm like, or Justice League, and I'm like, yeah, but it's just the same movie to me. It's a longer version of a bad movie.
Yeah.
If you want to spend 4 hours watching a bad movie, then more power to you. I'd rather spend 2 hours watching a bad movie and watch it and move on.
Call it a loss and just move along.
Yeah, and now I've spent 6 hours watching bad movies, so it's like, you know.
Yeah, I get you. I'm not gonna watch that shit. You can make me watch that. I'm the firm believer that it blows my mind that they would invest more money into something that bombed so fucking bad. But I mean, I don't know. It's like I said. I feel like I know it is relatively split, but I have heard more good than bad about it at this point. So,
listen, I'm sure if you're a hardcore DC fan and you've always wanted to see, you know, Steppenwolf in a feature film or something like that, then hey, this is what you've been waiting for, and I'm not going to take that away from you. Like, if you enjoyed this movie, then great. I didn't enjoy this movie. This is just my opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It's like any art.
If you liked it, you get 4 hours of it, so that's good for you.
Right, exactly. And that's what I mean. It's like, if this is your jam and you're like, hey, this is the best movie I've ever seen, then great. Like, I don't know what to tell you. For me, it wasn't a good movie. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't waste 4 hours watching it again, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Saying this,
like, imagine their fans will probably make like a supercut of that, eh?
I mean, like I said, to me, don't waste your time. Like,
but don't you think, like, would you say it was good enough? And this is obviously coming from I have no idea because I don't know. But like, would you say that if you cut that down to 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 15 minutes, would that ultimately make that movie would that make that movie go from like a 4 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10?
Because that was Joss Whedon's cut. To me, in my opinion, Joss Whedon got handed a 4-hour movie and he cut it down to a normal movie, and that's why it is what it is. And I don't think making it longer makes it any better. In my opinion, the way to correct this movie to make it work was to have a Flash movie before Justice League, was to have the Aquaman movie before Justice League, was to have a Cyborg
these characters.
Right, to have a Cyborg movie before Justice League.
Say what you said to me in a text when we were talking about it last night. You said something along the lines of like,
if you take...
Yeah, go ahead.
If you take two separate pieces of shit and make it one solid long piece of shit, it's still shit. And that's what I feel is like, there's a way to make this movie good, but it has nothing to do with the actual movie. It has something to do with not wasting time introducing every character in the movie. If you would have had standalone movies for each character in this movie beforehand, and then had the Justice League, you would not need to spend 30 to 40 minutes introducing each character's background, side story, and try to make you relate to these characters. Because guess what? The 40-minute segment of Zack Snyder's Justice League where they're introducing Cyborg did not make me like Cyborg. Like, I didn't care about his family. I didn't care about his backstory. I thought the character was very boring and generic. And 40 minutes with the character didn't change that. And 10 minutes with the character, I felt the same way. So guess what? You could have done a 5-minute segment in the Justice League of saying, this is Cyborg, this is his backstory, here it is. If that's the way you want to go, and it would have been the same result.
Yeah. We're out of time. Looks like we're pretty close.
We have a minute left. I do want to ask people, because we're going to have a huge break in between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Black Widow, that if you have any topics or suggestions that you want to see covered, comment on the post or comment on YouTube and just throw it out there of like something you'd like to see us talk about, and maybe we'll cover it, maybe we won't.
Like Fast Times at Ridgemount High.
I won't cover that, but Matt can.
Aloha, Mr. Hand.
But if there's something that you'd like to see us talk about or are interested in to see our opinions on, maybe we can do a topic, an episode about just those topics, or a question and answer episode about a few things that are brought up. Something like that. Just throwing it out there. Otherwise, we have a few ideas that we're going to do to cover some time in podcast. But anyway, we're out of time. So thank you for everybody watching. Peace out. Follow